I'm currently writing a book, and one of the chapters will be about how to raise a genius. A blueprint on how to raise a child that will be able to achieve complete mastery in a specific skill. And while doing research for this chapter, I bumped into this book, a biography on Tiger Woods.
Said she tired, little money, need a big boy. Pull up 20-inch blades like I'm Lil Troy. Now it's everybody flocking, need a decoy. Shorty mixing up the vodka with the liquor. G-Wagon, 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 all that housewives.
Got a twirl on it, BK.
I got a lot of toys. 720 years old, fall out, boy. You was talking shit in the beginning. Back when I was feeling unforgiving. I know you walk to see me winning. See the hit glue in my mouth and I'll be grinning.
Yeah, he did.
100 bands in my pocket, it's on me. 100 deep, I don't let me on me.
Look at this. Eyes connecting to the golf
It's a
ball.
moment when I so I got 'em saying watch.
Tiger Woods is a perfect example of two parents putting in all the effort to make sure that their son turns into a genius. To be honest, I'm not a golf fan, and while reading this book, I had to look up many of the terms that the writer was using. But even with no understanding of the sport, I could instantly recognize that the parents of Tiger Woods planned out Tiger Woods' his childhood strategically. Tiger Woods becoming the best golfer of all time wasn't an accident, and if something isn't an accident, we can replicate it, right? There have been many videos made about the life of Tiger Woods, but in this video I want to do a deep dive in his childhood. I want to figure out how he became so good. I just turned 21, so I know it's kind of weird, like why are you so fascinated about raising a genius? I don't know, I've always been excited to become a dad. But first I need to find a wife. I think that's probably one of the most important parts. Okay guys, let's hop into this video. I'm excited, I hope you are too. Let's figure out how to raise a genius. If you want to understand how Tiger Woods became Tiger Woods, you need to do a deep dive into his parents. Let's start with Earl Woods, the dad of Tiger Woods. He's an infamous character, famous for being toxic towards his son, towards his wife, towards the media. So, he's a difficult figure. Earl was a lieutenant who did 2 tours in Vietnam. A man with a lot of demons and a pimp-like personality. He loved womanizing, he loved drinking, and he loved using people to his own advantage. The type of man who wanted to profit from every single situation. During his deployment in Vietnam, he met Clotilda, Tiger's future mom. The pair quickly fell in love and Clotilda followed Earl back to the USA. After being married for 6 years, Clotilda got pregnant with Tiger. The newness of the relationship had worn off. By now, Earl was fascinated by something new, golf. An army buddy of his had introduced him to the sport and he just instantly fell in love. He knew from that day that if I ever got a son, I would introduce him to golf from an early age. Earl may sound fierce, but let's not underestimate Clotilda. She was a very, very fierce woman, a woman that knows what she wants. For Clotilda, being a mom was her #1 priority. She was neglected as a kid, and there was no way that she was going to do the same thing to her kid. So even though they were in a tough financial situation, she promised herself that she would never ever work. She would spend all her time on raising her son to make sure that her son had the best childhood possible. And with best, I'm not talking about necessarily like the most love, but like the most opportunities. To her, the choice was quite clear. She was going to dedicate the rest of her life on making sure that Tiger would become a great kid. Well, as promised, Earl made sure that Tiger got into golf at a very, very young age. And when I say young, I mean like young. I'm talking baby young. So basically what Earl did, Earl loved playing golf in his garage. And he basically sat Tiger next to him and he just let Tiger watch. He let Tiger watch, that's it. And the funny thing is that every single time when Earl hit the ball, Tiger's mouth would go open and Clotilda would have the opportunity to feed Tiger. And this is actually quite interesting because neuroscientists have found out that a baby who is exposed to a lot of live demonstrations, so for example golf live demonstration, it has effect on their brain development. And well, baby Tiger, he was exposed to like 100 to 200 hours before the age of 1 of live demonstrations. So you can imagine the effect that has on a baby.
When he was 11 months old, I took a break and he walked right over, picked up his little putter, set up just like I did, looked at the net as his target, took the club back, and hit the ball right in the center of the net at 11 months old. At age 2, I took him out on a course, and he played a regulation course, 9 holes, which is par 36, and he shot a 48. But he entered his first tournament, which was a pitch, putt, and drive tournament. And he was competing in the age category of 10 and under. And at 3, he won it.
And when Tiger was 2 years old, Earl made sure that Tiger had to spend 2 hours a day hitting the golf ball. And talking about the skill level is obviously like super interesting, but I don't think we should neglect the subconscious effects this had on Tiger. Because a lot of babies, they carry blankets because a blanket symbolizes their parent. It's warmth, it's kind of like cuddly. But for Tiger, it was a small golf club. The golf club represented his relationship with his dad.
When he was about 6 months old, I had this putter cut down, and I gave it to him as a toy.
And I think this also gave Tiger an advantage because now Tiger associated golf with the love of his parents. The two weren't separate. Well, one thing that was separate is the love between Clotilda and Earl. They both admitted that they had to pay a price in order to focus all their time on Tiger, and the price was their relationship. Tita and I made a personal commitment to each other that we would devote all of our energies and finances to ensure that he had the best we could give him. Total commitment. Well, the price of the relationship started to pay off because at the age of 2, Tiger was already turning into a star.
So right now I'd like you to meet Tiger Woods and his father, Earl Woods. Would you come out? Get that other ball.
In the 1980s, psychologist Benjamin Bloom headed the project to answer the question, what childhood experiences help world experts achieve their exceptional skills? Benjamin identified 4 key factors that contribute to the development of exceptional talent in children. 1. These children discovered their skills at a very young age. 2. Their parents had a particular interest or knowledge in the field that their children would eventually master. 3. They had other siblings to model after and compete with. 4. Their parents were great motivators. Well, the third doesn't apply to Tiger, he was the only kid, but his dad was kind of like a brother figure to him, not necessarily a father figure, more a brother figure, so they competed all the time and he was kind of like a mentor to him, so that kind of counts. But I think the most important thing that Benjamin said is that a child starts from a very young age, because that's what happened with Tiger. And you know the 10,000 hour rule, right? Well, the 10,000 hour rule states that it takes 10,000 hours to become a master at something. And if you start at a very young age, you'll be able to reach the 10,000 hours earlier than your competition. So you basically get a huge advantage. Laszlo Polgar, a Hungarian educational psychologist, is a great example of this approach. He believed in early specialization and intense practice. And he tested this out on his daughters. He decided for his daughters that his daughters would become chess masters. And he actually succeeded. All 3 of them became world-ranking chess players. One of them became the best female chess player of all time. And one also important note, all 3 of the daughters have come out in interviews saying that they had a happy childhood and that they don't think this had any negative effects on them. Benjamin also mentioned that a motivating parent is very important. And I think motivating is an understatement for Earl, because Earl was just crazy. Like the way he just motivate Tiger is, he just wanted Tiger to have an edge. And this is such a great story. So Tiger had this cassette player on him, and it basically had these self-help speeches. So while other kids were listening to Michael Jackson, Tiger Woods was listening to someone telling him that he was going to be the greatest, he was going to be the best golfer of all time, he was going to reach the stars and stuff. Like, he'd just be surrounded by these positive words with his earphones in. But it went even further than that. Earl was just insane about his son. Like, he just truly like made Tiger believe that he was destined for greatness, and he just made sure that the whole world knew that too. Tiger will do more than any other man in history to change the course of humanity. I don't know exactly what form this will take, but he is the chosen one. He'll have the power to impact nations, not people, nations. The world is just getting a taste of his power. Imagine your dad talking about you like that. He really reminds me of Olympia. Olympia was the mom of Alexander the Great, and she kept telling her son, like, you can conquer the world. Like, you're able to do that. You're the son of Zeus. You're destined for greatness. And, well, he did eventually conquer the known world, so it did work. And the same with Tiger. He became the best golf player of all time. And I think by just comparing his son to these names like Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, he, of course, put a lot of pressure on his son, but he also made his son believe that he was destined for greatness. And that belief is crucial if you're still so far from reaching your goal. Sometimes belief is the only thing that keeps you moving forward. And I know some of you might be asking yourself the question,
was all this legal?
No, what you're probably wondering is this child abuse? Well, it's impossible for me to give you an unbiased opinion. I was raised as an elite gymnast. I basically trained my whole childhood. I didn't really have a childhood, just focused on reaching the Olympics, and all I did was train. But till this day, I don't feel bad about it. I truly think that it made me the person I am today, and it actually has helped me now, because now I've got like this huge advantage on many people that struggle with discipline. I've never had that issue because I was raised in an environment where discipline was expected from you. And it just set the bar so high that the rest of my life I'll forever need to compete with it. So no, I don't think it's child abuse. If you're forcing your child to do something that he really doesn't want to do and you're not allowing him to quit, then yes, I do think it's child abuse. But if your kid really enjoys what he's doing and here and there you push him a bit when he's kind of like struggling or unmotivated, then no, I don't think it's child abuse. Let's summarize all the information that I've given to you today so you've got a blueprint on how to raise a genius. 1. Pick a skill. Make sure that you're also interested in the skill, as you'll probably have to gonna spend a lot of time helping your child doing it. 2. Introduce the skill from a young age. 3. Surround the child with the skill. Laszlo Polgar made sure there were chess posters, stickers, magazines everywhere in the house. 4. 10,000 hour rule. 5. Create a sense of destiny. 6. Provide a role model. If you take a look at Tiger Woods' bedroom, he had a poster of Jack Nicklaus.
I'm gonna beat Jen Nicklaus and Tom Watson.
He studies the greats so he can become even greater. 7. Incorporate fun and play. Okay, so the other camera just died. Perfect timing though, because I'm already at the end of the video. I do want to recommend this book. I finished this book in like a week. It's quite thick, but the writer actually did a really good job in making it interesting for people who don't understand golf. The rise is interesting, and obviously the fall is even more interesting. Also, watch the HBO show on Tiger Woods. Super fascinating. This is the end of the video. Subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Ciao.
When he wants to hit something, he hits it where he wants to hit it, not only where, but how he wants to hit it.
Par, par, par.
Okay, you gonna make a par on the last hole?
Uh-huh.
Okay, all right, let's go do it. Okay. That's